federal trial against the Boston Marathon bombing suspect is set to begin. Good morning, I'm Miranda Kahn, and this story tops your Newsmax Now update. Dzhokhar Tsarnaev is charged with killing 3 people and injuring another 264. Authorities say he detonated homemade explosives at the finish line of the Boston Marathon back in 2013. The 21-year-old has pled not guilty to all 30 charges. His lawyers say he was influenced by his older brother, who died following a shootout with police. The mother of 2 victims wants the death penalty.
That would be justice for me, for my boys, for myself, for how I feel, what happened to my boys. That would be justice.
Tsarnaev is also charged with shooting and killing a police officer. President Obama's Affordable Care Act is headed back to court in less than an hour from now. The U.S. Supreme Court will look into claims that say subsidies are illegal. This is the second major blow to Obamacare. If the High Court rules against it, more than 7 million people could lose tax credits that help them pay for health care. 34 states are challenging the subsidies, and a ruling is expected by the end of June. Federal agents raid more than a dozen homes they say were used for a birth tourism ring.
It's not against the law to come to the United States to have your child born a U.S. citizen, but it is against the law to lie about it.
Homeland Security officials say women, mainly from China, paid upwards of $50,000 to have their babies born in the U.S. Investigators believe at least 400 babies may have been born inside our country over the last 2 years. Meanwhile, Beijing plans to boost China's military budget by about 10%. A Chinese spokesperson says the country will spend nearly $145 billion on its military this year. That's the 5th annual increase, but the Pentagon believes that number may actually be closer to 40 or 50%. That's because of money spent on high-tech weapons imports and other key programs that are not factored into that budget. And Edward Snowden, the ex-NSA contractor who leaked sensitive information about the government's surveillance program, well, he says he's ready to come home. One of Snowden's Russian lawyers says the former U.S. spy is working with American and German attorneys to negotiate his return. But U.S. officials insist that Snowden will face criminal charges here at home. Those charges have already been filed against him. Snowden was granted asylum by Russia back in 2013. That was your very latest Newsmax Now update. We'll have more coming your way in about 30 minutes.